G'day punters, welcome to Tabs Getting the Jump as we find some early plays for Saturday as those final field markets open. And Mark Olmos, final Group 1 of the season, the Tas Tiara. I'll get it out at Eagle Farm.
And what a season it's been, Jared. The dominance of Godolphin throughout this Southern Hemisphere season in Australia has been quite remarkable. And I think it's set to continue, according to the markets with Tab anyway. And as always, good to be with you.
Yeah, well, it's Fillies and Mares Group 1, so just about always, $5, $6 the field. But our theme for the Tas Tiara is, well, just continue Godolphin's great run, as you've mentioned. And they got the top three in the market here. Pahudakawa, 550, Savatiano, 650, Multaja at 8, 11 and longer the rest. You got Invincibella and Sprite, 11. Last year's winner, Prompt Response at 13, but Godolphin again, huge hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Multaja looks awfully hard to beat, but the market and punters have certainly found her. I've gone with Sprite, first mare home in the Stradbroke, the Goodwood winner from a little bit earlier on. Her time's relative that day to the Dane Reaper a lot faster than the likes of Prompt Response. The run, if you did want to go with Dane Ripper form, was Noir off a very soft speed. Last furlong was outstanding at about a $16 quote as well, but I'll go with Sprite, Jared. The 1400 metre trip is a query, but as I mentioned, the times that she ran last start should see her be up to this, and then I dare say it may well be a stud career.
Yeah, I think you might be right. No surprise to see Pahudakawa to come up favourite. I think most punters just, they were talking through gritted teeth, shall we say, after her last run.
Yeah, and in the Queensland Guineas it was, of course, Colding appears to be a potential Group 1 horse in the making, just considering how many Group 1s we have this day and age, Jared.
Well, Sprite, your overs play for the Group 1 Tas Tiara. Let's now go to Randwick this weekend, and the Winter Dash is the other race we're going to look at. And this is race 4 on the card, first leg of the Big Six. So Jungle Edge coming back to Sydney Town. Probably a wet track by Saturday, wet at the moment, but $4. Passage of Time, $4.40. Cradle Mountain, $5.50. Almanzora and Caesar both at 7 double figures and longer the rest. So Jungle Edge, can he defend his crown?
Yeah, a couple of last start winners. He certainly can, especially considering the weight pull he gets with the claimer going on. Looks to be the leader. Definitely a winning hope, Jared. $4, probably about the right price. Same thing for Passage of Time. Again, the other last start winner. But I've gone with the 3-year-old. First start with a new stable with Team Hawks Sassar. Looked to be a really smart 3-year-old in the early part of this season with Steve O'Day, and has won on a heavy track. Of course, won the Roman Consul. The other run on a heavy track, Jared, was fourth behind, well, a superstar in the Autumn Sun, as well as Zeus Sane in the JJ Atkins last season. So we'll have a throw at the stumps with him at around about the $10 mark, just to see where he gets to in the run. He'll probably be a little bit further back. The trial didn't take me, but if anybody knows how to prepare a stallion, it's Team Hawks. So we'll make Cesar the overs play at $10.
Let's go to overs-unders now, and the first race we're looking at here is the GH Mum over the 1820. What run are you looking at here?
Duke of Valentinois, Jared. It can continue for Godolphin. This looks to be a race that sets up nicely despite having to carry top weight. You go back to December time behind Sky Boy. Those sort of form lines are superior to anything else in this race. You've got Light in My Veins, Mask of Time, should make the speed, the two Mar runners. Take It in Turn and Demonetisation both led last start. There could be a little bit of speed on for the Gelding to get home over the top of them. A mile out to 18.20. I still think you'll have that turn of speed at the end of that trip.
Don't mind Sellerman in that race, actually. Going to 1800 for the first time. Rock hard fit. It's been sort of knocking on the door this prep. I think it's ready to run a race at a big price there at $18. Let's now go to the Healy Stakes. What runner are you looking at here? In fact, one that's been very well backed early doors.
Yes, so we made, of course, Duke of Valentinois, an overs play. We go to our unders play, which we're having a bit of success with, Jared. Last week we got all 3 unders plays beaten, and what we're trying to do is pretty much take a big portion of the percentage out of the market for you, the viewer, to be able to narrow down a few more value runners. So hopefully you managed to do that last week. Here we're going with Brave Song. Again, has come up favourite at around about that 370 quote, Jared. Again, Barrier 1. I hate Barrier 1. You know this. There appears to be a lot of speed, and the race does look to set up. But if there are a few that fall back into his face, he's in a little bit of bother, the son of Your Song. Definitely a winning hope, but does need luck. We'll make him an unders play.
There's plenty of favourite backers from last week currently with pitchforks, particularly. Was Sylvia's mother won it? No, we won't go there. Anyway, we've got next to Will Clark and runner at Adelaide at Morfordville that you want to have a touch on.
Yeah, it might just be a touch of overs due to hype by Nakoni. Ran fourth in a King Stand Stakes. Of course, we're during Royal Ascot week this week, and Miss Andretti who won. So really well bred by Nakoni out of Miss Andretti. And where's the Miss Andretti colours?
Mr. Hamilton, this is.
Yes,
correct?
Mr. Hamilton. Tab 2, race 6 at Morpheville. Has come up 270, has already been firm. Has an outside draw, and there does look to be a little bit of speed inside of it. There's a horse in there called Wing Snipper that could get the drop on all of them and come over the top. So we'll pot it at 270, Jared.
I like your South Australian form, so happy to
We just
take
wanna
your
talk
word
about
on that as an
Zabalan.
unders play. Let's now go to toting around in that Big Six pool at Randwick this weekend, projected to get to around the $100,000 mark for New South Wales tab customers. And it starts with the Winter Dash, where you say there's only two hopes. Interesting, you got Pelothronius in the second leg. I think it was about 3 years ago now. It was about this time of year. Wet tracks. Pelothronius couldn't be beat.
Yeah, history could repeat, Jared. So we decided
It's been a while, though, I think.
It has indeed. We'll throw it in just in case anyway, because we are expecting quite a heavy track. Could throw up a rough result. 2 by 2, by 2, by 4 by 4, by 5.
Getting just over 15.5% there for a $100 spend. So now we're going to spec some futures. And it'd be rude not to play at Royal Ascot.
Yeah, near futures, I guess, Jared. Still comes up under the futures markets. There's a horse there called Advertise that I really like, covering the Royal Ascot meeting. It's been a lot of fun. Back to 6 furlongs. This horse had a crack at the mile at the 2,000 guineas. Wasn't suited. Back to the sprint trip of the Commonwealth Cup. This is like the Coolmore Stud Stakes we have at Flemington, Jared. 3-year-olds over 1,200 metres. Smart horse Frankie Dettori rides, $11.
And I suppose commiserations to Toby Edmonds and their team with Hootson, with it knuckling at the start. Unlucky, but the top hat looked good, didn't it, Toby?
It did, and surely it's an experience that Toby will cherish and hopefully send a few more horses back.
Early arrival time, and this is your overs play of the week, and you're going to the Healy Stakes here, the last race at Eagle
Yeah,
Farm.
we're back to the Healy. Of course, we had Brave Song will pot it. Alassio, I don't think she needs to lead to win. We tipped her a couple of weeks ago, and the June Stakes was scratched. Comes to this, I don't think she needs to lead. There's a stack of speed in this race, and if she can be just off them, she could be value at around about $13. Just a race that maybe looks to map quite well for her.
I like her. She's a good mare. Another mare I like in the Winter Dash, Almanzora. I think she might actually go a yard better on a soft and heavy track. I mean, last time we saw her at the races, ran second in the Nivison, the Group 3 in the late spring sort of periods, had 2 trials, winning one of them heading into this, and it's already been backed. It was $7 when we were just upstairs having a look at the markets. Now 6 as we walk in the studio, but Sydney race 4, number 9, Almanzora. First up, I think she's really going to progress this preparation.
We've already nearly come to the end of season 2018-19, Jared.
Yeah, that's exactly right, but plenty of winners to be found. So we'll be back next week for Getting the Jump, and don't forget to catch the words tips on the Tab blog. And Mark, enjoy the rest of Ascot.
You too, Jared.
And we'll see you next week on Getting the Jump.